Welcome to Reclaim Treasures. This is Connie and it's Christmas in July. Project number 1. I got these blocks from a thrift store for 99 cents a piece and they also gave me a 50% off. So I wanted to make them look solid, so I turned the drawers that had the little cut off, the hard cut off, inside out. I want them to look like a solid piece. I sand them flush. I sand the edges to match the one that I had. It was not as sharp. And I brad nailed the drawers so they won't come off. I took my dry decks and I filled all the gaps around where the drawers are and the nail holes and all. I let it dry and I sand them. And I gave them 2 coats of Dixie Belle's Fluff. I printed 6 pages of notes. You can get them from the thrift store as well, so many books, music books and stuff. I wanted the edges of the paper to be kind of distressed, so I put some water all the way around and I pulled the paper out so I can give it a more natural, worn out look. And I Mod Podge them on each side of the cube. I want them a little bit smaller than the edge of the cube. So I kept going, and when I was done, I distressed them with a 220 very lightly. I didn't want the ink to look brand new. I want it to be a little bit worn. And then I put a couple more coats of Mod Podge, actually 3 more coats of Mod Podge on them. When they were dry, I took my distressed ink and I went all the way around with a light one to give it a more kind of old look. And then I took the darker one and I touched the edges and I wipe out whatever I didn't need. So I made them look more, the edge is more dark and the inside a little blotchy, like the paper has been around for a long time. And I kept going until all of them were done. Then I put them in the order I want them because I wanted to put that a Christmas tree on. This is by IOD. It's an old retired mold. It's a big mold, so it took a lot of material. So I kept adding until I got to the surface. I used my brayer to push it because it has a lot of details. It is a beautiful tree. And I bought it just for this project. I love the details on that tree. Then I used my quick and thick glue. I spread it all the way to the edges. And I laid on the cubes. I cleaned up with a wet brush all the way around, any glue that had seeped out. And I let it set for a little bit before I start cutting into it. Then I start cutting to separate the cubes. And I used my wet brush to clean up any material or any glue that was on the side. Sorry, I'm out of focus, out of place there with my camera. But I was working in my living room, and it was later in the afternoon, so I didn't have much of a space. And again, I'm cutting, separating the cubes. And I'm smoothing the edges as well. I put them back together to see how they look, and I was happy with that. And I let them dry overnight. The next day, I gathered a few colors that I wanted to use. I'm going to put everything down in the description. This is like a hunter green chalk paint. And don't forget to paint the edges between the cubes. And I continue until I'm done. This is the basic color. Then I took the brown and I painted the trunk of the tree and the branches that are inside the tree. I used the moss green on top to give it a few highlights. And I went back with that brown to highlight the branches. Now I'm taking the red color, that's Crimson by Waverly, and I'm gonna use it for the little balls that the Christmas tree has on. I'm drying everything with my hair dryer. And I'm gonna use a glaze by Fusion. It's an antiquing glaze. I like this glaze because it's not as dark. It's enough to give a little shading. I use that around the tree to give a more three-dimensional look. Make it look like there was a shade behind it. And I wipe out whatever I don't need. I dry everything with my hair dryer again. And I'm gonna use Fluff to dry brush all over the tree and soften up the look. And again, drying it. And this is how it ended up looking. Later, I put here and there a little gilding wax in gold by Dixie Belle. You're gonna see it in the end, in the last picture. Not much, just a little shine. Let me know how you like this project. Project number 2. I was at the Hobby Lobby and I found this mirror for 99 cents. It was broken, so it was a good deal. I really liked the frame of it. I took the back apart. I don't know if I'm gonna use these hinges again. And unfortunately, the mirror was attached to that backing. I took the handle out, you know, the one that makes the mirror stand up. And you can use either one of those tools. And I use the glazing by Bondo to fill the holes. I took out the hanging device there as well. And I'm gonna go over the frame with Dixie Belle's drop cloth. I'm gonna give it 2 coats, the front and the back. And I was debating, I wanted to use the Santa's face, and I was debating on the background. I thought I can go with that, but it was too busy. Then I had this a lampshade that I liked, that linen, and I was thinking monochromatic, but then again, I decided, I changed my mind. I found this sticking material that I really liked, and I think it looked the best of all. So I'm gonna make my mold using Dash air dry clay. So I heavily dust it, and I kept adding, because this is a very deep mold, you need a lot of material as well. I had a cheaper clay from TJ Maxx, and I used that as well. I wanted to get rid of it. And I used my brayer to push everything down. If you hear some crunching, his buddy decided to eat his bone right now. And here he is. I'm cleaning up the edges of the extra material. And I'm putting him in on a cellophane there, let him dry. I'm gonna use Dixie Belle's Fluff. I'm gonna put 1 coat on each side because I want to decoupage the material. And I used my polyacrylic to seal the paint on the frame. I put 2 coats of polyacrylic on the frame. I cut my material to size. And this is where it went south. I used the polyacrylic after I trimmed everything to decoupage the material. I should have thought about it because it's a thick material, and even though I used a couple coats and I used a heavy coat under it, it did not hold the material in place. So I took it out, washed it, dried everything, and I should have used redesigned with Prima decoupage gel, because that's a nice thick gel that would hold the thicker materials in place. I put a healthy coat on it, and it dries fast as well. I recently bought this decoupage glue, and I really love it for thicker materials and thicker fiber papers. And I laid my material down. I used my little squeegee there to take out any bubbles, wrinkles, or whatever. And I used 3 coats on top. I wanted to have a good surface to glue that Santa. Now that everything was dry with my frame, I used that, again, that antique glaze by Fusion. I put a healthy coat on it, and I will start wiping out the excess. And I put it a couple times on until I liked the way it looked. My Santa, a few hours later, was drying, so I put a coat of Fluff on him. I used my fan brush because I didn't want to disturb the details. And the next day, he was, for the most part, dry, so I used my antiquing glaze as well. Same way, put enough on, wipe off what I didn't need, until I was happy with the results. These molds are very thick and they're not going to be dry for another couple of days, easy. But that's okay. I can form it to my surface much better if it is a little bit on the wet side. So I kept wiping until I liked the way it looks. Now my background cloth was dry completely, and I'm going to use my Titebond Quick and Thick, and I will also use E6000 as well. I measured the top and the bottom and the sides. I wanted him to be as centered as possible, and that's why I left that piece of paper there. I want him to be placed right under. I don't want to have to second guess. And I press him gently until I liked where he was. I dry the glue for a little bit with my hair dryer, and this is how he looks now. I think he's adorable. What do you guys think? Do you like him? Would you have done something different? Project number 3. I have bought a couple of these taper molds, and I want to try patina paint for the first time. I bought this patina paint about a year ago and I haven't used it yet, so I decided to be brave and try it. So I'm going to use, I'm going to cast them out of resin, and you're going to use equal parts of A and B. You stir for about 20 seconds, I would say. This one is a fast setting resin. And I like that, but depends how many you have to do because it will start setting really fast compared to the amazing resin. As you can see, it starts turning white. Within 10 minutes, this resin is done. But if you have to do a lot of castings, it might not be your resin to use, because it will dry as fast. So I filled both molds, and then I took them outside when they were dry and I spray painted them with black paint. I'm going to use the copper, and these paints, they have real metal inside, so please shake them or stir them for a long time. I had shake that off camera. This is a beautiful color. I could just stop right there, you guys. It shines, it's gorgeous, just plain gorgeous color. I want to use everything on the lid. I don't want to waste that, and I don't want my lid to get stuck because it will fuse it. So that's the first coat, and you have to dry that. When I use my hair dryer in the very low setting, that's kind of cool. You cannot use high heat on those. And when they're dry, you shake again your patina, and you put the second coat. But once you put the second coat, you have to spray with your either the blue or the black or the green, whatever color you want, I used the green, and then I decided to use the blue as well. In the end, I sprayed with a mist. And this is an hour later. This is how they look the day after. And they continue to turn color. I do not seal them because I don't mind if they keep rusting out. But if you want, you can use the sealer. My light here in the house is not perfect. They look brighter than what they are, really. But they look like they've been around for 50 years at least. This is more close to the correct coloring. I think they're gorgeous. Patina paints have become my favorite. It's very easy to do. It's not really anything difficult. You just need to control how much you want to spray them, because you might want less than what I used. I think they're beautiful. What do you guys think? Do you like this style? Would you try this? And here they are, all the projects. Let me know which one was your favorite of these projects today. And let me know if you would like to recreate one of them. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.